So in this video, I want to talk about all the mutants and their locations. So stick around and we will go over this quickly as possible. So in Forspoken, there are optional bosses scattered throughout the world for you to take on, some of them being giant nightmares, unique enemies, but most of them are called mutants. These monsters have been infected by the break at an exponential rate and are extremely tough fights intended for endgame. However, some of these can be taken on early in the game, but it will take a while. You do get rewards for beating the mutants. They grant a nice chunk of XP, but they also drop some valuable crafting items that you'll need to collect if you want to upgrade your gear to the best it can be. And not only that, but they also have chests they're guarding most of the time. These chests, however, you can just run in and kind of grab and bolt out, so you won't need to fight the mutants to get the chests, at least most of the time. Alright, let's go over locations and how many mutants are in each location. So first you have Sepal. There are 6 mutants in Sepal. This is the beginning area. None of these are too tough since it's the starting area, but they can be tough. I mean, they are still bosses. So just go in cautious and try to take them on. Next up is Praenos. There are 7 mutants here, but 3 of them are altered Nunda. But since this is the second area in the game, things do start to ramp up a little bit. So be cautious again going in here. Next we have Ava Alette. There are 9 mutants here in Prov's domain. And again, as you may expect, these are weak to Silas magic. So these shouldn't be too tough, but again, they are bosses, so just can't stress that enough. Don't go in expecting to wreck them. However, unless you change your settings. If you change your settings to easy mode and all that nonsense, then of course these will be cakewalk. But go and get Silas magic, the red magic, and then once you get here, these will be your next sub-bosses, optional bosses to take on in Ava Alette. Next up, we have Visoria, the largest region in Athia. And of course, this means that this is going to have the largest number of mutants to take on, with there being 12 mutants in total at this location. These optional bosses will provide you with even more experience and even more of a challenge, given that it's the second area before the last area in the game. But by the time you make it here, you should have a good handle on weaknesses and how to take these things on properly and effectively. And finally, we have Junoon. Junoon has some of the hardest challenges in all of Forspoken, given also that it's the final zone of the game. It is a small area, but once you get here, be warned, nothing is being held back. You'll have access to all of your spells, and you'll be able to grab most of the equipment at this point. So you should be pretty high level and pretty decked out in your gear. But there are only 5 mutants here in Junoon, but they are extremely tough. These mutants are backed up by minions, turning the boss fights into crazy encounters that can really ruin your day if you're not ready. But that's all we have here. I'm going to put a link down below on the guide that I use when taking these on. This guide gives you the location, their weaknesses, and how to go about taking them on effectively. So be sure to check that out down below. And while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe for more Forspoken content. I have a guide coming out on one of the hardest dungeons in the game. Hopefully I'll have that out by Wednesday. But in the meantime, be sure to check out my Forspoken guide to crafting over here. But I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for sticking around. Peace.